Cancer, I very clearly got a request for your reading today. This is a pre-read for the month of March. Silence is deafening. I think you're doing that on purpose. I learned in sales and marketing a while ago that when you're closing a deal, you need to leave a space for silence. And it causes an instant death in the resolve of the client. It's like you're not speaking the same language. So rather than inconveniencing you, they just want to hurry up and agree. It's a different type of pressure, but pressure nonetheless. Yeah. It's supposed to make you want to chase the sale as the buyer. So you're actually chasing what they want you to do. All your defenses come down. The thing about supply and demand is that it has to match one another. So despite how you package something, despite what it looks like, despite how it feels, people are not going to focus on something that they're not going to focus on. Right? And you can do the distraction thing with looks or like attraction, or maybe just being really shallow with people and being like using your eyes to see, right? The Cancer, this is like your forte. You don't ever put your defenses down in that way. You're not naive. This is literally, and I don't like using this term because it's kind of belittling to some people. I guess it's lucky I'm mentioning that. But there's also this like, this is not your first rodeo. You're not naive. You're not like the one that showed up blue-eyed to the party. It's really like that you're actually like very happy to have brown eyes or green eyes or hazel or whatever. The blue-eyed thing to some people is like really real. It's just as viscerally racist as like being racist against skin tone. It's the texture of your hair. Do you have good hair? Yes, according to some people. Probably a very small minority in comparison to the grand whole. Most people just see it as hair. Not good or bad, just the hair that is either done or not. Just like theirs. They don't really see it as like a moment of death, like, oh, dying because I'm being labeled by, okay, yeah, you see what I mean? Why would we spend this much time obsessing over census of opinion when what we really want to know is how vastly we differ? I think you could be trying to reframe some things in a different way, Cancer, and it's not in a way that is supposed to harm people. It's supposed to help them find a way out. It's supposed to usher them towards what you see as being the other side of where they currently are. And there's nothing wrong with you seeing it that way. Maybe a little less force. Okay, because you're slapping down the very thing that's trying to help you. It's like you can't say I have no remorse for this thing, right? And I'm also gonna stifle it before it can make it to the doorway because I'm very aggressive about my stance, right? I have this just black and white way of looking at things. It's yes and no, it's up and down. It's more or less, okay? And that's kind of disturbing once you actually splice things. There's this point in time when a point becomes a line because they're all clustered together in a formation. Then lines become actual letters. Then letters become words, and words become sentences, and sentences become paragraphs, and paragraphs become essays. And then an essay becomes a thesis and an anthology and a paper and a novel, fiction, nonfiction, who knows? It's a whole big picture. I think, Cancer, that you've had the whole big picture for a while now. Just a guess. And I think the way it's being fashioned, that's so strange. That wording is really specific and will be relevant. I don't know how. Oh, look. Okay. It's almost like this. It's the horseshoe imprint, but it's the ghost of the horseshoe. So it's being really precise about where you're throwing something because you already knew where you were throwing it. This is like knowing where it will land on the ocean of the ocean floor. Okay. If I was to throw this, if I was to physically find it laying somewhere on a ranch, on a farm, if it emerged from the ocean somehow, I would know where to throw it because that's the imprint. It's the other set of footprints. It's the footprints that forensically go and match with that blueprint. It's just what I'm observing. Yeah, that just basically ends the problem right there. These are crow's feet. Oh, okay. I'm seeing eyes that have like a lot of fine lines or wrinkles around them. I think everyone has them in different places. You know, this is the end of needing to wonder where they're going to be. It's like knowing your ancestry, knowing where you come from or where you're going. That's really interesting that just came out. I just felt myself almost be like startled internally just now. You could be realizing something and it's like you're like, oh my God. Yeah, this is going to be for the month of March. You're cleaning a house or not. I mean, this is like kind of one of those like make it or break it moments. It's like, this is an upgrade in your money. This is going from, this is wearing a tinfoil hat so no one can infiltrate your thoughts. See how he's like walking on stilts, which is actually like a broom, like two brooms. So each step that he takes, he's like walking. It's almost like you have Buddha-like mentality that some monks will sweep in front of themselves as they walk. so that they never even step on an ant. That's how pious and aware and conscious of other life forms some human beings actually are. There we have it. In the upright this time. That's what I mean. It's like you're not, okay. I think this came out in the reverse before. This is the problem. You can't throw horseshoes, okay, at a guru because it's gonna hurt the guru, okay? You need to know where it is psychologically and end any kind of problem that you might have on the physical realm so that you're not stepping on other people's toes. Keep it to yourself. It's like if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay. In this case, you can say something if you want, but you need to make sure that like you're also containing. It doesn't mean that you have to invalidate yourself. It just means make sure that there's a temperament, right? That's what I mean by this tin. There's a tinfoil hat involved, and it's half the picture. It's covering 10% of the submerged rest of you, right? It's out of respect. It's like it's wearing coverage in the house of someone that you respect. If they want you to take your shoes off when you come in the door, that's what you do. When in Rome, do as the Romans. Nothing magic about it. It's just called respect. Good old fashioned respect. Okay? And if you can do that and you know how to coexist with other people, typically things can be worked out from there. The things that can't be changed, if there's no spark, there's no spark. If there is, then there is. Can you help that? You can fake it, but that faking it probably won't make it. You'll figure it out. So when it's genuine, yeah, that's a good reflection of self, which means it's probably a good thing, which means don't push it away. Just let it happen. Jackson. Okay, so there's this Shaka Khan moment. There's being shook. I'm hearing shake, rattle, and roll. Just know that it's okay to like kind of absorb the moment and be excited about it. Excitement is like the only thing that's better, or anticipation, right? Is the only thing better than actual like indulgence. If you know that at the end of the day you have a frozen raspberry chocolate covered dipped piece of fruit, right? Frozen. Did I say that already? Frozen in the freezer, simply waiting for you to bite into it, and it's not even been touched yet. It's just like there, right? The moment that you do, it's gonna be like the most satisfyingly crisp part of your day. It's gonna shape the future, and it's gonna be kind of this. Remember, we were just talking about that U-turn, lucky horseshoe of sorts. That's when it turns over and is planted in place for long enough that vines can grow on it. You can have a whole garden planted in place. Firmly rooted. It isn't really about competition or winning. It's just about finding the one that you can do it with. Yeah, protect your treasure, and then your future is protected automatically. But if one doesn't protect the other, contract kind of becomes null and void. And that 50-50 compass that gives you half the understanding that you need to ensure the positive outcomes. This is number 39, and this is number 11. Run it forward, run it backwards, however you look at it, this is always going to look the same. It is like that. Cancer, I think you've already figured that out. Pretty sure you've already figured that out. Here we've got the butterfly, okay? Ooh. Look, see that beautiful mirroring that's happening? This means that there's an imprint. This could quite literally be a physical thing in your world that is now becoming an ethereal thing in your world. And I'm not saying thing as in a piece of chattel. I'm saying that this is becoming an actual experience. You're meeting the literal imprint of your carbon footprint of who you are. The person that you are on the street, it's like that's the person you're meeting in real life. You don't know if you're gonna like that person. You don't really care, but you like I hope you like yourself, right? But I do want to I want to go find this really quickly because it's relevant. This is very relevant to your reading in specific, Cancer. You're witnessing an exact replica of like its duality at its best. I don't know how to explain it to you, but this will. This definitely will. Okay. It was this guy, and then there was, where are they? Oh, here. Yeah, so there's this understanding of luck, as it were. Yeah. Luck, the evil eye, and this message that's coming through it. So half the story, remember I was telling you like only part of who you are has been explored yet, right? Even to yourself at times. And I'm not saying that you're not good at exploring or looking into yourself. I'm just saying that is the joy of knowing oneself is that it seems to be endless once you've figured out quantum field theory mechanics, whatever. So here's what I mean. If this is half the story, half the whole picture, right? This is the target. This is half, and there's half. There's both of the wholes together. It's 50-50. In this case, 50-50 is 20/20 vision. So if you're looking through 20/20 vision, you know those old spectacles that had like they're flat across the top, but they have a half moon on each eye? Yeah, it's kind of Daria glasses, I think. She probably had an entire lens, but whatever. That's this mirroring of experiences being actually witnessed. Yeah, kind of by a third party. It's hard to see it all at one time because it's a lot to hold on to mentally. Keeping all of those ideas spinning at one time is like having 5 plates in the air all at once, right? But once you see it done for the first time, you can really start to see the imagery. The other part of this 50-50 imagery that comes out here, or was already out here, was that solitude card number 13. And it's the lighthouse that has been reflected in the lake. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Because it is kind of astounding to realize that there's literal ripples through time, space, continuums, and fabric that are very much so interstellarly woven. It's definitely intentional. When somebody on the other side realizes that there's a vibrational frequency or a live wire still alive between the two of you, the reflection of that experience begins to become very visceral. It's almost psychosomatic. It's like the Mandela effect happening over time and space. This is the speed of light. This is a lighthouse. This is the Mandela effect, erasing from our time and space this one version of a memory. And for some reason, this has to be upside down for this to be right side up, and vice versa. Unless you have an animal that has a foot that faces the opposite direction, then you have to be looking at the universe, which is an inverse relationship with self. It's the only thing you would be worth protecting. Self-preservation exists because the most valuable thing that you possess is within yourself, not within other people. And in the future, if we could see the morality of our own human based off truth rather than image, or at least a accurate splicing of the two, we would have a way more emotionally balanced society. We would discontinue looking at each other like chattel. We would probably stop trying to marry each other for any other reason outside of love. Once it would be really obvious to everyone how you actually feel. Because you have some chip in you that it's like, if your heart doesn't kind of skip a beat, or maybe you have like a link to every thought that you have, right? So people can just hear you when you're like, yeah, I am repulsed by this man. Probably sex trafficking would stop pretty quickly because men would realize what a woman actually is thinking. Maybe they wouldn't care, but they probably have a mother, an auntie, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a lover at some point through their miserable lives, right? What if you could just automatically reject the image of the woman that he's like, violating, and replace that with a pixelated picture of whatever female really did matter? Would that be psychological torture, or is that actually just what you deserve? Cancer, what are you thinking about? Because, like, these are really deep thoughts that are coming through. Like, I'm channeling some stuff that's, like, borderline putrid or, like, petrifying. It's very dark humor, but it's also, like, not really humor. It's like you're catching on to something that is dark. It's dark on a level that's like, something must be done. But yeah, the magician, it's like a manipulative situation, a situation that has been manipulated, will be, is being. I don't know what I'm picking up on. You could be kind of like, could just, yeah, okay. There's justice here, but there's also no justice here. That's what I mean. It's like someone's darkness is almost their justice, but it's also like not justice. Because whatever this is, it's like, it's almost like systemic. Not on like a staph infection level. I'm talking about on like an institutional thought level. It's societal. It's a habit that a group of people have developed, and this is the 100th monkey happening, right? But it's okay. This is the 100th monkey happening in a very strange way. This is the Aries card, came out in the reverse. I think the justice here is the fact that there is no justice for like a bullish ram, like competitive energy. I don't think this has anything to do with like actual Aries. I'm sorry if you're an Aries. Um, I'm really sorry if you're an Aries, but this is like, it has to do with a clash. Nothing more, nothing less. This could be buffaloes. This could be rams. This could be yaks. Okay, this could be as simple as like a llama spitting on somebody. Okay, I, this is horse farting or pooping. They do that a lot. Just like that's part of having a horse. Yeah, they eat only grass, so it smells very distinct. It is stinky. No, it doesn't. Like, no, it doesn't smell good. Right. This is like, there's still stomach acid that it had to go through to get to your nostril. Anyway, I don't really want to talk about it. I'm just trying to say that, like, everyone poops. All living things, including amoebas, poop. So it's one of those moments where you're like, okay, well, I either accept you and your poop or I don't. Right. There's that mirroring energy, is like, feel like you have a true friend in yourself or someone else, and that's the only justice that there really is that someone else is also sharing your experience to a certain degree that doesn't really have anything to do with you, Cancer. If you feel joined by that person, or if you feel loved or given attention to, or somehow ascertaining something from that person, that's great, right? The courage. You get courage from that person without even thinking about it. This person just gives you unlimited amounts of vitriol or like chutzpah, okay? It's just what they do. Their whole entire job, right? Yeah, they give you love. And you show them love, they show you love. Maybe not in the same way. Different love languages, right? And it could feel very like exasperating at times. need courage to love someone, maybe, because it's like you're like, well, if we don't speak the same language like that, how is that translated, right? The truth will bring you guys together, or it will push you apart. But coming to terms with who one another is, that's the truth, is that you need to have a friendship that is more important to you than anything else. So the respect level never falls below a specific point, and it never needs to. It's really nice to have that. That's the truth. Do people get that? No, not necessarily. And if you go into something expecting perfection and only truth, and like for someone never to hurt you or never to mess up, you're wrong. Like they're gonna mess up. They're gonna hurt you at some point. And you have to allow space for that. You don't have to allow space for it to continue happening. So I feel like this is the point where you're kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna build with you unless it's truthful. You tell me truth, I'm good. The moment you stop doing that, I'm gone. It's, I feel like you're being real kind of like cutthroat with someone. Yeah, look, it's that fire sign. Whoever that emperor kind of energy is, you're being real cutthroat with them. Like you're kind of just being like, yeah, I've walked us through this enough times now that I'm not putting any more fire into this. I don't want to be breathing fire because I'm so angry. And also, I can't even be angry because I've explained it so many times now that I feel bad. Yeah, breakthrough. If you don't get it by now, it's like, okay, well, just do your best. And do you know what I mean? Like you're being truthful with someone, Cancer, but you're also really babying them. And there's nothing you can do about it. But there's also like nothing you can do about the fact that this person may already know like what the deal is. Yeah. They're not really that distracted by anything. It's just like a Truman Show moment where you're like, okay, let me smile for this camera and that one and hit this angle, and then you know, I don't know. You may not be that kind of inspired, but someone wants to edit you in or out of the picture is what it feels like. So that being said, take that little piece of quinoa, um, nibble on it, kibbles and bits, and I shall catch up with you in March. Um, on the go, moving forward. Yeah.